Hello, hi, and welcome to Empathic Fire. I am your reader, Jay. These are going to be general messages for the sign of Virgo in August 2020. What is going on, Virgo? How are you guys doing? I hope you're doing well. All right, Virgo, welcome to August. Happy birthday to you early Virgos who will be celebrating at the end of this month. I hope you guys have an amazing time. Also, of course, happy birthday also for those who are coming in September. It's Virgo season at the end, so you're all, bestowed my well wishes, so to speak. Anyway, Virgo, wherever you are in the world, whatever you're doing, I hope you're safe, happy, and healthy. It's still a pandemic outside, so please take all safety and precautions necessary to keep yourself happy, safe, and healthy, okay? Anything else here before we get started? Yes, you will see your girl go live here on the channel on August 8th for Leo's birthday readings. If you happen to want to sneak a peek on a Leo and you want to cross-watch for them, feel free to join. If you just want to hang out and say hi and see how I work when I do my lives, or you just want to say hello and then dip out, that's totally cool. I will be doing that on August 8th at 7 p.m. here on the channel, so you have that to look forward to if you choose to drop by. You don't have to. It's a free country. It's a free world, right? Anything else? Yeah, shout out to my subscriber, my friend, my client, Vanessa. She made me this lovely bracelet while she was on vacation. She didn't have to, but she's a wonderful supporter of mine. And when you get love, friends, you should give it back out. So I share my wonderful gift. I really do appreciate it with all of you because, that's what you're supposed to do. When you get love, you give it out. You know what I mean? All things are meant to be exchanged equally, yeah? So, let's get into it for you, Virgo. I have shuffled off camera. That is your main spread there. I'm going to shuffle on camera now for your outcome and your overall energy. Once all the cards are out and they're lying face up on the table, that's when the reading begins. Timestamp is in the description box below if you want to jump ahead. Also down there is the information you need if you want to get a personal reading with me. If you have a question before you place an order, just go ahead and email me at the same address and I will answer you as soon as I can. You're going to see the link to my Instagram down there. That name is EmpathicFire Tarot. Boom, in case you missed it on the interest there, on the intro there. Thank you. And right now I'm pulling oracle cards over there, interpreting them intuitively. Also doing some pick a card stuff. So if you're interested in seeing me do that type of work, just go ahead and drop me a follow over there, okay? And it's saying else. Nope. So let's get into it. All right, Virgo, let's see the outcome. Outcome for Virgo in August 2020. Outcome for Virgo in August 2020. Please show me. Did that flip? No. Okay. No. Virgo outcome August 2020. Show me. There it goes. Bottom of the deck is the overall energy. All right. Let's flip everything that came face down for you guys. Oh, come on. There we go. Teamwork makes the dream work between my two hands. Because I cut my nails, so it's hard to grasp these cards all the time. All right. Virgo, Virgo, Virgo. Let's do it. Please show me where Virgo is in August 2020. Virgo, August 2020. Please show me. All right, there we go. We got it. All right, Virgo, coming into, oh no, August. You come in with the energy of the Empress. Secondary major arcana for Taurus and Libra. Could be dealing with a Taurus or a Libra, but you don't have to be. Sexy, abundant, full of life. I feel for you guys, you're feeling reinvigorated. I think you're feeling in some cases re-inspired or reconnected in some type of way. Some of you it's very sexual, or it's very very much attached to your romantic sector, where it's just like I'm back in the saddle. Congratulations, very nice. beyond romance or sex, this is generally feeling accomplished, or feeling that you can accomplish, that you can be, or that you are actually. Ooh, that's a semi. It's not spicy, but it's a very interesting word. Anointed. Some of you, I mean, I don't know how seriously you're feeling you're anointed, but it's like anointed, selected, absolutely special, absolutely someone who has the power, the capability, the wherewithal, the know-how, all the capabilities of having goodness in your life, having beauty in your life, having love in your life, sex in your life, money in your life, whatever. The Empress is very much a natural cultivator of all of those things and more, right? This is an energy, female or not, again, zodiac sign notwithstanding. This is a person who knows their worth, knows what is due to them, what is owed to them, because they have had a hand in creating it. It's not that I get this because I'm privileged, or I get this because I am simply anointed or special. It's like, no, I'm actually like, I'm really stuck on this word anointed or chosen, this aspect of feeling like you're chosen. Maybe that's it. Like, maybe some of you feel, and I'm saying you, Virgo, this could be someone you're dealing with. It doesn't have to be you. It is a general reading, so flip it around if you must. But it does feel as though someone views themselves as chosen, and not necessarily with that religious overtone of being anointed, but like, of course I'm going to succeed, or of course this was going to happen, or of course this, level up in my life is happening because I was, like, it's my destiny, it's my fate. There would be no way around it, because eventually it was always, all roads lead to Virgo or whoever being whatever this Empress moment is, right? Pardon me, that's what that feels like. I don't want to stand here and like be in the way of it, because I know there will be a complication to this. I know there will be a conflict over this in some form or fashion. That's usually how my readings go. But for whoever this is, you are another person. This is what it feels like. Like, it's not cockiness, it's confidence or assuredness. It's not ego. It's like, again, like related to faith, or it's related to this aspect of destiny, of pride of place, maybe, or feeling like, if no one else, if not me, who else? If not me, who else could it be? So maybe there's a tad bit of ego in the way I'm phrasing it, but I don't think this person is coming from it that way. Whoever it is, I don't think that they literally are looking at themselves in the mirror and being like, there you are, you sexy beast. Of course you're gonna, it's slightly different than ego or narcissism, right? At least that's how this person feels. Again, I feel that there will be a complication to this. I feel that there will be contradictions to this. But that's the starting point. You or someone else is feeling pretty good about themselves, feeling as if, if I can use a word that the youths use, this is like a big flex. This is a flex on any haters. This is a flex in on any person, whoever doubted you. This could be a flex towards your former self, because I feel, again, this is like renewed energy. This is like a renewed or a reawakened state of mind or state of being. This has not always been the way for somebody, whether it's you or someone else, Virgo. This is newfound, if not rediscovered, sense of self. Very interesting. So what else happens? Because I'm sure we gonna have some detraction from that. All right, so what else happens here? Please show me. Oh. So I feel a divergence. Yep. Thank you. They got it. Divergence. Meaning one side of the situation, the circumstance, the issue, the debate, the relationship, what have you, is one way, and the other side is a totally different way. So Divergence. Because, yes. Okay. Okay. So I get the sense like there's another person around this situation or another energy in your vibe that's a little less about that life, so to speak. Or contextually, historically, there has been issues. Um, if I'm honest, this Empress feels like an elevation. Feels as, like I said, like an leveling up in some type of way, like an ascension. And then there's some stuff or whatever. There's residue. There are things left behind or things left over. Oh, that's another aspect here that they want me to quickly draw upon. The Empress in tarot is sometimes purposely single. Purposely single. They don't, they choose it. Okay? The Empress can be a fabulous partner. Relationship of any type, okay? Single as in taking care of the self, prioritizing self, nurturing self, having enough for the self. Not in a selfish way, just that's the primary objective when cultivating that type of abundance with the Empress. So what I'm sensing is someone has made a step away, trying to elevate themselves, to put themselves in the driver's seat or on center stage, something like that. Okay. Behind the Empress, male, female, again, zodiac sign notwithstanding, masculine energy, feminine energy. The Empress is traditionally aligned with feminine energy, but this could be a masculine person or a masculine marked energy performing this for the moment, okay? I'm going to have to start doing videos about that because no person is one way. No one person is only masculine and only feminine. We are always constantly blending the two, and our variations, our levels, or our percentages will fluctuate. So today you might be 60% masculine. Tomorrow you're going to be 70% feminine. And it has nothing to do with changing your body or changing how you dress. It's all about what you're exhibiting with your spirit, what you're focused on as you manifest, as you go about conducting your life. Does that make sense? Maybe I don't need to well, I should because I'm speaking mostly to you guys, so I need to make a video for everybody. But anyway, so as the Empress elevates in her wake, or what comes to light, thank you, is another way. I feel as though the Empress was tired of all of this. Whatever we're about to talk about, the Empress is just like, you know what, I'm over that. Yes, over that. Okay, so I'm over it as in oh my God, I'm so over this, or being exasperated, being frustrated, being, too through, right? The other thing which I was chuckling at was over it. Literally, the Empress is over the card that I just picked up, which is the Four of Swords, right? So literally, the Empress is over this in action. The Four of Swords is a reflective energy. It is a point in the tarot where we take a step back, or we take a time out, go sit on the bench, think about what we're doing, run the schematics, run the playbooks, or go over the playbooks and all that kind of stuff. It is this review period. It's also a time to be to seek revitalization, or to become re-energized, refocused, okay? All the re-res. All the ways of redoing something, right? And I think for you, Virgo, that would make sense. If you're the Empress, this would make a lot of sense. Virgos are very good at self-reflection. They spend a lot of time reviewing everything in their life, all the things they say, all the things they do, all the things people do and say towards them. And there's just a constant, to use terminology from the film industry, it's like running the dailies. Like when people shoot movies, they do dailies, right? Which is the daily take of all the shots and the things that you filmed for that day. It's an ongoing editing process, right? And so viewing the dailies, you might go back and reshoot a scene because something happened, right? Virgos are like that, where you might do something on Tuesday, regarding your workspace, regarding a situation with a family member or a friend or a lover, and you're like, I didn't really like that. Let me go back and do it another way. And so then you go on Wednesday and you basically try to reshoot what just happened. Now, that's not to say that, Virgos are manipulative or Virgos view life like a movie. No, it's just to say that you keep a constant tab on what is working and what doesn't work. Where you can get stuck is that you don't come out of the editing room. You don't come out and actually reshoot a damn thing. You might replay the same scene over and over and over again. And you're trying to figure out what's wrong with the scene, what's wrong with what the actor said, what's wrong with what was wrong with the lighting, and you can't put your finger on it. And so you spend 2, 3, 4, 5 days thinking over the same thing. That gets tiresome, and it's not actually a proper use of the Four of Swords energy, which is basically what happened here. Reflect on it, maybe gain a little bit of wisdom, maybe gain a little bit of insight, but then ultimately let it go. Eventually let it go, right? I feel you or someone that you're dealing with spend a lot of time ruminating over the same thing, ruminating over what wasn't working, and not actually coming up with any type of solutions or any type of edit, any type of constructive change to make things better going forward. Because what was one of the first words I said when I picked up this card? Inaction. You can think all you want about a situation. You can ponder all the ways to improve it. But if you actually don't do a thing about it, what's the point? I almost had like a Seinfeld, what's the point? And I don't even that was an impression of people doing an impression of Jerry Seinfeld. I don't really care for him. I like his show on Netflix. That's a fun show, but I never watched Seinfeld as a TV show. Anyway, so I feel you're dealing with someone, or you were in this headspace of, I'm going to think and meditate. I mean, okay, boom, thank you. They're like, look at the card. I was like, oh, okay. So what do we see there? A lion resting. What are lions like? Lions love a good sleep. I'm a Leo, if you didn't know. And I agree. Lions love, I would love to take a nap right now. In the middle of doing this, if I could portion off a part of myself without losing the quality of the reading that could go take a nap, I would do that shit. Anyway, lions love naps, but lions in mythology and the way that we kind of portray them. Thank you. That's the word. Portray them is fearsome creatures. They run, they hunt, they stalk, they roar, they play around with their little lion cubs in the Serengeti and all that kind of stuff. There is a point where a lion is meant to be active, where this fearsome king of the jungle that you see on this card should, at some point, be up and about and doing shit. But like I told you, that was not happening in this situation, or it's not happening now. You're all going to be on different points in the timeline here, but there's something where the Empress saw the inaction of themselves, the inaction of other people, the inaction of, or just the stalled, not really having qualified or pragmatic results or changes implemented that allowed a situation or energy to be stuck. The Empress is not interested in stuck energy. She's always interested in acquiring and expanding, not in an obnoxious way, not in a way where she seeks to control or live outside of her means. She's usually, for the most part, the Empress energy is usually very, interested in sustainable abundance. Not having all of the things, but having a good portion of the things, right? Having enough things to keep the bottom line where it needs to be, but also, indulge every once in a while. You see what I mean? It's not greed. So because that's the mood or the MO of the Empress, this is not congruent with that. This is not helpful towards that goal or towards that mindset, towards that outlook. So the Four of Swords is a deterrent because, again, It's fine to reflect. It's fine to go back and say, what happened here? What could we do differently going forward? What are the edits that need to happen? But if you never leave the editing room, if you never put those suggested changes or those ideas of how to make something better into actual action, you're just sitting there thinking. What's a thought if you don't turn it into something? Okay? So, what else happens? Yeah. So I feel what we have, like I said, in many of your cases is contextually in relationships, in connections, in business partnerships, in family connections, whatever we're talking about, love situations, all of the ways I feel one side, it doesn't have to be one singular person versus another singular person. It could be a group of people, could be 1 to 4, 4 to 1, whatever the actual breakdown is. It doesn't really matter. But one side is just like really, yeah. Is that the break? Because I'm trying to see where it breaks. Because I know there's a break, but I'm not sure. Okay. And, no. Okay, this is the break. So it's a bisectioned, bilateral thing, right? Okay, thank you. We got there. So one side up here is this trajectory of raising up. This down here is like staying where it is. I don't think it's necessarily going less than or depreciating in some type of way. I think it's just where it is. Okay. There's a cap. There's a cap, and then there's somebody who breaks through the cap, breaks past the barrier, breaks beyond the borders, and that's the issue. So, Virgo, I'm going to address it as if this is you, but it can go vice versa, or, it is your life. You know where you are better than I do. So, we have this Empress in this contextually, okay, it could go that way too, okay. See, that's why it's confusing, because I'm like, is it truly? Because the bilateral I'm thinking is here across this horizontal line. And they're like, yeah, but then as soon as I pick this up, they're also like, but also think about it that way. Okay, so we'll think about it both ways. So, behind, see, exactly. Based on where the position is, behind the Empress is this King of Cups energy, water sign energy, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Now, in that language alone, behind the Empress, as if to have left behind. You, Virgo, could have left behind this King of Cups energy. Doesn't have to be a water sign, doesn't have to be a male, could be, a female, fire sign. It doesn't matter. What was I saying? Oh, behind. So, you could be leaving behind a King of Cups. Yeah, that's like the first thing they want me to go with. Leave behind King of Cups. Leave behind King of Cups. So, this King of Cups, emotionally rich. How can I say that? A different way. A lot of emotions. Okay. Not necessarily expressive, not necessarily going to, be effusive or be overly, chit-chatty with what they feel. But they have a lot. This person has had a lot of experience or a lot of emotional takes. That's interesting. Emotional takes. They're like take like a take from a movie. You get it, Jay? Yeah, I got it. So this person, sort of keeping with this movie making analogy, has shot a lot of scenes, has been in a lot of movies in their lives. They're very well adept to experiencing life from their emotional center. However, I don't think that fish there at the bottom, it's a fish, right? I mean, if you look at it, it could be a fish. Could also be like sea kelp or something like that. But to me, it looks like a fish. But the fish that they're drawing me to, and I don't think that's what that is, they're showing me a goldfish. And goldfish, in general, are known to be with not the greatest memories. So what does that mean? This person could have gone through a lot, positive or negative or whatever, but they don't have a lot of, this person doesn't have a great memory. Or their memory could be clouded by the sheer amount of things they've experienced in their life. Okay. So that would to me would contribute to this person being stoic. This would contribute to this person being stifled or repressed in some type of way, even though they've got a library full of knowledge, of emotional, I don't want to say, it's like it's not information, but like stories. Let's just say stories. What's in a library? A bunch of books. And a lot of those books tell stories. And this person has a library full of emotional stories that they could tell, but they don't. So they have a bad memory, or their memory is selective. This equals a person who I think has a lot of strength when it comes to what they feel. They feel things strongly. But their ability to express that, to communicate that, to demonstrate that is kind of low. Okay? So you may have been in connection with a person, friend, family member, business partner, lover, whoever, mentor, who just kind of always stayed at a certain level. And they never really elevated, or they never really pushed past a certain point. You might get something from them. You might get a certain comment from them, or a certain bit of insight into who they are or what they've been through and where they see themselves in relation to XYZ. And then they say something, and then you're like, hey, expand on that. And they don't. Or, hey, tell me more about that. And they kind of retract, or they kind of change the subject. This person might be consciously or subconsciously emotionally avoidant. And that's interesting because they come up as a king. And I think they're a king mostly because they have... A king and a queen aren't necessarily made by just their experience. They have to be made also with their mastery. So maybe that's it. Okay. This person could show up as a king because they have mastered, I don't want to say how they handle, but how they, awareness. Thank you. They're aware. That's why the fish is possibly like selective memory, or like I said, they might say something and then, walk it back. They might start a story but never finish. They might give a story but skip over details. They selectively choose how much of whatever they've experienced or how much of what they feel to express. This is choosing. This is a choice. And it could be you, Virgo. This could be related to, like I said, I get the sense, like when I first picked that card up and I said behind the Empress. So some of you, whoever the Empress is, has kind of walked away from that person, or this is one and the same, because the Empress is effusive, is related to Venusian aspects of love and care and nurturing and all that good stuff. But if she doesn't want to, she doesn't. That's always a part of the Empress's journey. I choose and I choose not. And it's very distinct and it's very purposeful. And I get that is also here with the King of Cups. So it could go either way. It's a general that makes a lot of sense to me because generals usually tend to talk to both sides of the story or talk to multiple avenues or possibilities, right? So regardless, I feel there's an aspect of the King of Cups that remains fixed or impenetrable, right? Not really gonna budge too much, right? And that could have been good news to the Empress or bad news. Why do I say good news, bad news? Why am I saying that? Because I'm distracted now that part of this crystal has fallen off. There we go. Okay, so now I'm getting the other story. God, you guys are going to have a long reading too. I just did Leo's reading and that shit was long. So now this is going to be long too. So another way that we could interpret this, you get this two ways. So the second way that you can interpret this is kind of what I was just saying, where that kind of works to the benefit of the Empress and therefore might be embodied by her action or embodied by, whatever they're choosing to do, in the sense that the Empress doesn't have to give or have to express more than she wants to. She will only do as much that benefits her because she's a strategic energy. As much as she's, open and, like I said, nurturing and wants to share, she does not overshare. This is not an energy combined, King of Cups with the Empress. This is not an energy. Again, this is a second interpretation, so please don't think I'm contradicting myself. So the other part of it, or the other story that we have here, is somebody who has mastered their emotions and utilizes them to benefit themselves moving forward towards greater abundance, towards greater expansion, towards more fulfilling or somehow enlightening or enlivening. Thank you, because again, there's like this getting your groove back. Stella got her groove back kind of energy, and knowing how much baggage, quote unquote, baggage to reveal, or how much baggage needs to be left behind or put on the side for the moment, because being too vulnerable or being too expressive or being too much of anything is going to be a hindrance. The king, that masterful thing that I mentioned earlier, is not only a king because of experience, is also a king because they can delineate and they can designate what is helpful to them from their emotional body. In terms of King of Cups, if it was like King of Swords, it'd be the mental body, right? So what is beneficial for them to take forward? What is beneficial for them to mention in the moment? What is beneficial to them to, kind of reserve for a later discussion? Something like that. It's all well under control when we have this side of the King of Cups, when I feel that it is an energy that's matching or working in concert with the Empress energy. So it's going two ways. If it went that way, then all of that is together. If it went the other way, how's that? Ooh. Okay. That I'm not going to cover that way, because you'd be sitting here with like a 2-hour reading. So I think I'm going to continue with it being this way, but they easily showed me two ways with the King of Cups. I hope that makes sense to you guys. It makes sense to me, but I can't section this off two ways for the remaining 3 cards. I really can't. We'd be here for way too long. So, continuing on. The Empress either moves away from the King of Cups or is utilizing that energy, utilizing that particular set of skills for their benefit. If they do that, that's in relation to this energy of being tired, of being done, of being over it, okay? Excuse me. 9 of Wands in reverse. Show you that upright so you can get a better look at it for those who are unfamiliar with this deck. And this is one of my favorite interpretations of the 9 of Wands, actually. It reminds me of that movie Robin Hood, the Disney cartoon. Anyway, 9 of Wands in reverse. So, over it. Donezo. Completely no longer feeling inspired or having reason, having duty tied to a certain place or thing or structure or facet of life. Okay, like I said earlier in the reading, I feel like this Empress energy, therefore now this entire line, because that's how I'm going to read for the rest of the reading, is on this elevation tick, this ascension tick, wanting to move up and over and just continue on. The 9 of Wands reverse is kind of laying down your weapons. I don't want to say, well, maybe it is a white flag. And not a white flag as in you take the L, maybe, in some cases, maybe it involves taking an L, I don't know. But a white flag as in, I can't do this anymore. A white flag in, okay, you got me. Or a white flag in, I'm simply tired and I want to go do something else. And it's I feel there was a sense of like, I want to make the best out of this. I want to make this work, this friendship, this job, this career. I want to make this relationship work. I want to make, you know, this improvement in my self-work, or this way of approaching self-love. Because again, with the Empress, interest in self, interest in nurturing self and sustaining self. So there may have been a very, okay, interesting. All right. For some, this is very specific, so it's not going to apply to everybody. This is like for like one person, it's like, boop. There may have been an approach to self-care and self-love that just simply wasn't working, right? You may have been exploring some type of therapy. I'm getting like because of that King of Cups energy, I'm getting like someone may have like tried out hypnosis or tried out something with like a pendulum. I don't know much about pendulum work or anything like that, but something in those lines. And you were trying to combat some type of ailment or some type of emotional blockage, whatever. And the way either the person you went to or the service that you got just wasn't really it. And you gave it a couple of tries, the old college try. Virgo is known to do that. I'm going to try. All right, I'm going to try again. Let me try another time. All right, one more time just for good measure. And then finally you're like, oh, okay, that's not working. Like, Virgo is not normally a one and done type of person. In many of your cases, not all, clearly. So you usually, you know, become like, I don't want to say dedicated, but you become very much like, well, I tried it this way. Let me try it again. Okay. And it wanes over time. So that's what this feels like. After months, weeks, years, whatever it is, of trying one type of way, the Nine of Wands is in reverse to say, all right, I'm done. This is not getting me the results I want. This is not elevating me the way I wish it would. I'm not moving in the way I want to move. I'm not getting to where I want to be. The Empress is very determined. She's like the head of a train here. She's like the engine of a train, and it's like propulsion. Move forward. If the engine wants to move, but the coupling is off, or for some reason the wheels on the remaining cars of the train are stuck, that creates friction. That creates some type of barrier to what the Empress wants. So the Empress is going to walk her ass through the rest of that train, find the train car that's got the wheels that are stuck, and decouple from it. Uni, you always bring me there. So my my guides in the universe, they make me use words that have multiple meanings. I mean, you know, most words have multiple meanings, but decouple. You can decouple train cars, literally detach the train cars. And you know, we've seen it in movies and TV shows where, you know, this is not working, detach it, and then the rest of the train can move on. The other way to go with decoupling is literally decouple. So literally, for some of you, this is about moving off or away from or detaching from some type of connection, commitment, whatever the type, friendship, family, lovers, whatever, and saying, I give up. You got me, or you got this, or we can't do this anymore, and whatever. And I said that earlier about the Empress choosing to be single, has the means, has all the resources that could welcome in friends and family and lovers and whoever else, has plenty to give, but would only give it by choice. So to choose not to give, to choose to decouple, is within this person's wheelhouse. Absolutely. So the Empress can give, is giving, but will not overgive, and will not give to a situation or a person or anything that doesn't reciprocate. And I feel, going back to that initial interpretation that we had of the King of Cups, that could definitely work. Or that could definitely explain that. The Empress is giving into this person emotionally, giving into this connection emotionally, and the King of Cups is selectively giving back. No. The Empress is like full service. The Empress is full rotating door. There's no piecemealing here. There's no breadcrumbing here. You either give the way I give, or you don't, or I don't need you. Period. So for that first interpretation of the King of Cups, where there was an emotional blockage, where there was selectivity, where there was some type of, again, openness, and then all of a sudden the doors close, that open and close shit of the doors, forget it. The Empress is like, I'm done. I give up. I'm not gonna deal with that. Okay? So, what else happens? Wow. I'm done with my tea, so now we're on to water. Ooh, it's almost lunchtime. I'm excited. I only had toast for breakfast, so. Anyway. So the Four of Swords we talked about before. So again, I'm taking it as if this is the other side. So the King of Cups for that initial reading might be down here. We will see. But so inaction, a lot of good thinking, but no action with the Four of Swords. A lot of rumination, but a lot of a lot of ruminating and even more inaction. Thank you. That's how I wanted to say that. What else happens? Fear is here. Strong fear is here. A fear of losing is here. A fear of detached is here. Okay. More. Give me more, please. It's like cold. It's like chilly here. Yeah. There's... yeah. There's a sense of chilliness here. Of absence. Oh boy. High Priestess in reverse. Cancer energy. Also sometimes associated with Pisces, but for me it's mostly Cancer. But does not have to be a Cancer sign that you're dealing with. Oh. Okay, for some of you, going back to like the very first thing that I said about the Empress, or some of the very first things I said where it was like sexual and romantic, like, you know, just availability and just like out there trying to get theirs, okay? And not in like a, you know, slutty or, you know, what do you call those, gigolo type way. It's not like that. It's just like being aware of sexuality and being aware of romantic entanglements or romantic interests and all that kind of stuff. This High Priestess in the reverse, relating specifically to that aspect of the message or that aspect of your storyline, shows me someone who is frigid, someone who is not sexually open, someone who is not open romantically, for lack of alignment, because they're not properly aware of self. This person is not sexually engaging with you or you with them or whatever it is. Okay. There is just a total shutdown, and it's not to punish. It's not because this person isn't sexual, doesn't have those desires. They just don't, they're not aligned with them. They're not, it's not healthy. The way this side of the story relates to sex is not proper. Wow. Proper? What's that? Okay, they're like, yeah, we said that. Not proper. Not proper. Sex is used as a tool. It's used as a means of survival. There is no genuine. Ooh. It's not genuine. It's not honest. It's not spiritually honest. If this so okay, let me go back. When I say frigid, that's true. There's nothing going down in the bedroom. For those where it applies. This could be you, could be someone else. I don't know. For others, it could happen, but the act is emotionally and spiritually frigid. So the physical act could happen, but emotionally, mentally, spiritually, all those, internal ways, all those, sort of out of body, out of world kind of ways is frigid. Like I'm seeing like they're really showing me like the universe and how dark and cold it is. Like up in space is dark and cold, baby. Nothing can live up there, right? So when it comes to making a connection emotionally, not happening. That's emotionally frigid. Some it's physical frigidness or frigidity rather, and it all both ways you cut it. It's because there is no spiritual awareness, or there is stunted or curbed spiritual awareness or resistance to. The High Priestess in reverse is the rejection of intuitive knowledge. It's a rejection or an unawareness of, or a deflection away from what we can easily, well, for some of us it's not too easy, so let me go ahead and walk that back. It's not easy for everybody, but for those where you're I should say it's potentially easy. You just have to work on it. There we go. The High Priestess knows everything. In terms of tarot as an entity, as a avatar, so to speak, knows everything. But in this reverse position, lacks knowledge, lacks acknowledgement, lacks alignment, lacks acceptance, all these things. So because of that, that creates disharmony, not only with other people, but with the self. Ah, boy, this is so deep. So whoever this is, Virgo, you or someone else, they are emotionally, mentally, spiritually, maybe all the ways, or maybe just in some of those ways, not in harmony with self. Dare I say, like detached from self. Does not see, like, it's like watching, it's like someone may constantly have an outer body experience. Maybe that's because of trauma. That I think is a thing. I'm not a psychologist, clearly, but I think that's a thing where if certain people, or excuse me, if a person experiences certain trauma in their life, they may spend a good portion of their life after that fact coping by being consciously, or excuse me, being subconsciously detached. You know? This is heavy. So, beyond that, because that's speaking specifically for people who are having a revitalization in their sexual or romantic sector, and it's moving away from somebody, or it's moving in the opposite direction of all of this stuckness or frigidness, right? Beyond that, just the sense of moving towards abundance and moving towards some type of self-sustaining, self-fulfilling prophecy type stuff with the Empress and what we were talking about before. This High Priestess is resistant to, perhaps even jealous of, that trajectory for someone else. I get the sense that this High Priestess is yeah, it's like jealous and envious, feeling deprived, feeling punished, perhaps by the universe, by the powers that be, by God, by whatever you believe in or don't believe, okay? Or whatever that person believes in or doesn't believe in, okay? It's like seeing whatever's happening up here and realizing that you're not a part of it. You've been disinvited from the party. You've been decoupled from the train, or decoupled from the relationship, whatever the type. And I don't want to say being salty about it, but being abandoned, feeling abandoned. Feeling as if this is not loneliness in the sense that I think it might be showing up. It might show up as loneliness. It might even be called loneliness, but it's way different than that. Or this is weird. Okay, I'm just going to use this. This is a phrase I've never heard anybody else use, and I'm just using it in the moment, so I don't know if I'd ever say it again. But it's sort of like spiritual amnesia. It's like forgetting that you are the High Priestess, or that you have access to this energy. You have access to everything that this body or this energy encompasses. Spiritual amnesia. Forgetting that, you know, for lack of a better phrasing, you're a child of God, or you're a spirit that is connected to all life, connected to the universe itself, connected to spirit itself. Feeling like, well, it's just me. The lies. The forgetfulness of that. So, Could be that someone spent such a long time in reflection, ruminating, trying to figure out a plan, trying to get themselves to a point of taking action that they forgot why they were inactive. Or it's like, when you spend so much time thinking on the wrongs you've made, or the ways in which you should be improving, or the ways in which you've been challenged, or the ways in which you feel you've missed the mark, you can kind of lose the plot, forget why you were there in the first place, or become convinced of the error that you're making, or the missteps that you have made equal the truth in some type of way, equal what you are, or what the experience is supposed to be, something like that. This High Priestess in reverse is actually a big wound for somebody, a big point that needs addressing for someone. And not to say, like, the way to do it is, jump headfirst into a spiritual endeavor, or to get back into a church, or get back into some type of religious practice. Not necessarily. I think, to me, like I was just saying about the realizing that you are a part of something bigger, it doesn't have to be religious, it doesn't have to be spiritual. But the fact that someone really feels, or excuse me, someone doesn't know, I'm going to use this word. I don't usually use words like this unless it's in creative writing. Someone doesn't know how magnificent they are as a spiritual creature, period. As a sentient being on this earth, in this dimension, period. They don't understand the magnitude, the power, the magnificence of such an existence. Not to say it's, sunshine and rainbows to be living here on earth as a human being. It's not. Not all the time. Not for many of us, not all the time. But, gosh, I don't want to force what I believe on anybody. And I encourage everybody to come to their own conclusions. But there is such a... there's such a massive... I don't know. It's just this person undermines that, or they don't connect to they really don't connect to essentially how magical they are, or how magical they could be. They don't recognize, maybe that's it. They don't recognize themselves to be that. They don't think they are. Therefore they're not. And the High Priestess is always signaling to the bigger, more celestial aspect of what life is, or what experience we're going through. There's always something behind the moment that's greater than us. I don't know, there's something, whatever. I hope you get it. So somebody here, in comparison to that Empress energy, just is capped. I think I said that earlier, is capped. There's like a certain level that they've hit, and they don't transcend that level. And the Empress is about transcendence. Now, oh my God, maybe I didn't say this earlier, or maybe I did, but I just haven't addressed it since. This could all be within yourself, Virgo. This doesn't have to be another person. This could be self-contained energy. We could be talking about a former version of yourself that had a disconnect, spiritually speaking. And you're leaving that aspect of yourself behind. Final card in the main spread, because this is going to go on forever and ever if I allow it, is the Seven of Wands. So, traditionally the Seven of Wands is about defensiveness, defensive postures, stand your ground, feeling possibly backed up into a corner and having to, fight off the bad guys. That's kind of what we see here. We've got this vulnerable goat and duck, or geese, or whatever that is. Goose, I should say. Goose. And like a coyote type of fox predator right there. I am still getting this sense, or I'm again with like this idea of abandoned, or this idea of being put in such a precarious position that there really is no defense, there really is no option. Like, what can this goat do? Because you see it's like on its hooves, the tippy toe hooves on this edge of a cliff or whatever the hell it is. Like there, and look at its face. It's like scared shitless of that ravenous animal down below. And if you've ever seen a goose or certain types of, those things can be vicious too. They hiss at you. Yeah, you guys know that, right? So these things are dangerous. And they be like, get out of here. Anyway, so I feel as though this bottom line, for lack of a better word, feels like a victim. I'm not calling them a victim. They feel they would call themselves, or maybe not use that word, but they see themselves as a victim. Helpless. Maybe that's the better word. Helpless. Based on who they are, based on their circumstances, based on what they have right now, based on where they are right now, everything under the sun equals I am helpless. I am, don't think that. Whoever that is, don't think that. That's stupid. I don't like that. They might use words like I'm useless, I'm nothing, I don't matter. Things like this. And it might be all boiled back down to this point of rumination, looking over, reviewing the tapes of all the missteps they've made in their life. All the things in this particular situation, no matter what it is, no matter what type of relationship, no matter what section or sector of your life or their life it revolves around. Everything I've done has been a mistake. Everything I've done has equaled nothing, or it has caused trouble, or it never went anywhere, or it's just like promises unfulfilled, potential that's unfulfilled. And they, like a helpless goat, have been backed into a corner, have been pushed to the ledge. And what's their recourse? What can they do? What is the defense of a goat? I assume similar to a ram, where they would use those horns on their head and try and bat their head against. Yeah, goats. Yeah, they do that. They bash their heads like rams do, but there's no chance of that. This goat doesn't even have enough room to get a running start to try and buck its head against that wolf or whatever the hell that thing is, wolf, fox down there, whatever that is. So it's like this person might feel their quote-unquote go-to move, or whatever action they could take, is not even possible. The environment that this person is in is not conducive to what they would want to do to fix it. Hence, why they might be inactive. I know how to do this, but my environment doesn't let me do that. So let me go back to the drawing board. And they just keep coming back, and it's like a ping-ponging effect. And it's if it ping-ponged, it's always being the points of this is always happening over the high priestess, which again is that misaligned energy. Not realizing, again, you're a child of God, quote unquote. That's sad. Outcome, because we gotta wrap things up here. 10 of Cups. Woof. So whoever's on that trajectory, that elevation tip, good for you. Virgo, if I'm honest, not all of you are that person. A lot of you are this person down the bottom. Not the, it's, okay. It's close to 50-50. And that's very typical for a general reading, okay? It'll go either way. If you're that Empress, if you're on that uptick, if you're on that, rise to the top, that ascension process, this is for you. So I see for some of you, it is an induction. Interesting. That's an interesting word. Induction. Oh, maybe they mean introduction. Yeah. Okay. I was like, induction. Introduction. For some of you, this is an introduction to the next phase of happiness in your life, the next phase of contentment in your life, where you might be leaving behind whatever, another relationship, singlehood, whatever. I don't know. I don't think the status matters of whatever you were before, but pardon me, I think what's happening is, yeah, you're being introduced to a happier viewpoint, a place, a mindset, an environment, a group of people, or a particular person that is just so much more fulfilling than wherever you have been. You could have been single, you could have been married, you could have been, divorced for 40 years. Well, maybe not 40, but divorced for 20 years, something like that. And there's just like this meeting or this welcoming in. Like what I'm seeing is like, okay. What I'm seeing is like somebody walk through a door, and it's not a surprise party, but it's like a big party, a huge party. Like a convention hall, or like a large, private mansion, or like a resort that's been rented out. And not saying it's going to come with all those bells and whistles, but it's just like, out of my face there, fly. There's like it's like a welcoming ceremony or something like that. So you or whoever is going on that, Empress path is going to find themselves with birds of a feather. Cliched with the birds here. Birds of a feather flock together, right? So it's like feeling apart, or feeling as if you're going towards people, places, environments and circumstances and opportunities that are just perfectly fit for who you are, for what you are, right? And a recognition of that. And it can come, again, with like a job. It could just be a job. And not to say just a job, because it's not important, but just it could be a job. Like the Ten of Cups and a lot of what we talked about today maybe feels like interpersonal relationships. But like I told you, this could be about your own personal journey, and it doesn't have anything to do with anybody else. We're just talking about different facets of yourself. And maybe you have felt, really adrift, or you felt not spiritually aligned with the work that you did, and everything you did in terms of trying to make improvements with your performance, or trying to make people like you, or trying to earn more money, whatever you were trying to do, and you were just like not really aligned to that work. You eventually move away from it, give up on it, or, retire from it, or, now that you've saved up enough money, you're going to move towards something else. And once you leave, once you elevate towards something else, you find your home, so to speak. That applies in all the ways. It applies to work. It applies to spiritual development, or your own health and wellness. It applies to relationships of all kinds. Take your pick. You know your story. If it involves, if you have that storyline where we're talking about two different sides to the breakdown here, the other side, yeah, they're like, they don't even factor. Damn. That was cold. They're like, they don't even factor. So if you're on that side, Virgo, where someone's walking away from you, or you are in this, I don't know what this is. And I'm using my hand is like moving in a circle. So maybe it feels like a whirlpool, stuck in a whirlpool, or what do you call that? What do you call that? A riptide? Something like that. If that's you, unfortunately, whoever's there, they don't get this. It's not a punishment. It's not a ha-ha because you're so emotionally and spiritually disconnected. This is, it's not a punishment. It's simply where that energy is, where this person or those people are on their trajectory, they're not able to see and align to the Ten of Cups. In order to have anything in tarot, good or bad, to have anything in life, you have to energetically be aligned to it. So if you are failing, you are energetically aligned to failing. If you are feeling adrift without purpose, you are energetically aligned because you don't recognize, or you don't have a proper handle or vision of what your purpose is, or understanding of what your purpose is. You can have it, and it can go the other way. You can have success, But if you suddenly become energetically aligned towards failure or loss or some type of stagnancy, you will eventually align that into your life or draw that into your life, okay? So because this is not going anywhere, it's capped. Like I said, it's reached a certain point. And maybe the next level up or a few more levels up is the 10 of Cups. Because this person is capped, they're not going on that route. They're not able to travel that far at this moment. And maybe, whatever. Let's go ahead and end this. Virgo, your overall energy is the Star. There we go. Healing, destiny. In some senses, this is revolution because this is related to Aquarian energy. You could be dealing with an Aquarius, but you don't have to be. Healing. Yes, both sides are seeking healing. Empress is pretty conscious of it and working actively towards it, is very purposeful in the actions that are taken. This side over here needs it, wants it, might not know how to get it, okay? Destiny. Whatever has happened here, because destiny is mentioned because the star, not only in name, but there's a star depicted there. So the destiny is possibly the breaking point that you have come to. The destiny possibly was to awaken something for the Empress and maybe eventually awaken something for the High Priestess in reverse. Who knows? And the destiny also could be to make this divergence. I used that word earlier, didn't I? Divergence. It sucks because subjectively as a human we don't like this, our ego doesn't like it, but divergence is the name of the game. I'll have to make a video on that too. And I think a lot of people don't like that because when you divert from one person or one path in life, you often have to leave folks behind. And that sucks and that hurts and people don't like it, but that's a part of life. Okay, so let's just kind of learn to accept it. Now, so those are like the three, or excuse me, and revolution, did I say that, revolution? I think so. So that's that energy, or that's that aspect that comes, Uranus, revolution, almost radical change. And that could be what's going on here. People could be doing things. Like I said, this could all be you. This could be old you down here on the bottom line. And this could be new Virgo. Maybe before Virgo was seen to be, this person who didn't have a path in life or felt detached from their purpose or never had any concept of what their purpose was. Never saw themselves, again, as a child of God. I don't know who needs to hear that, but a child of God. And now you know that you are, or you feel that you are, and you align to that. And that's a whole different version of yourself. That's revolutionary, right? Revolutionary, evolutionary, whichever way you want to say it. And that could be unexpected. And I think that's kind of been sort of in the nooks and crannies of this, is that something unexpected has developed, Virgo, in your storyline. And if you're the Empress line, that's very beneficial. If you're down here in that High Priestess, Four of Swords kind of vibe, less nice. Doesn't feel so good down there, okay? Virgo, that is your very long. It's not even the longest video I've ever made, but still. That is your reading for August. If you liked it, there is a like button down below. Hit that for me. If you want to let me know how this reading resonated, you can leave a comment. I love to read comments and see how you guys find messages here, because I'm just sitting in a room talking to myself. I talk to these walls. I have a plant over there. It's just me. So I really never know if the reading connects unless you guys tell me. So if you would like to share that, please do. Feel free to share the video with other people if you think they would benefit from the message, or you just generally like my vibe. And of course, if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. That would be super, super cool. Virgo, like I said, I'll be back soon. You'll see me soon live here on the channel for Leo's birthday season on the 8th of August. If you want to join me, that's totally cool. But I will be back soon, more specifically for you with your mid-August readings. Towards the tail end of August, you're going to get your birthday reading for your season put up here on the channel. So be sure to check your playlist and anything else out on the channel where you might think you can find a message, okay? If you want a reading with me, again, you can find that information down in the description box, all right? Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Take care.